Come on.
They're right there!
Let's go. Move, 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 move. For people that are watching this now, can you just explain Flashpoint Taiwan, a brief synopsis of it, of what you're doing now in the 6-part series leading to December?
Yeah. So I'll give you the elevator pitch, right? So Flashpoint Taiwan is something that was thought up by Lethal Minds Journal. So the Lethal Minds Journal, active duty and veteran journal. So you can write poems, you can send in photography, you can write articles. Great publication for active duty, for veterans, by active duty. Of course, civilians can contribute too, but that's the crowd. Awesome people that started that up a couple years ago. They basically, we all follow each other on social media, right? There's this, not a clique, but there's a group of Marines that are out there doing great things on social media that has sprung up in the last couple of years. And I've just happened to watch the rise of that community, and I just happened to get into it as well eventually when I created the Quantical Warfighting Society. And so like a lot of us, we all communicate in the DMs, and we all kind of know each other just through our Instagram pages. And so we all share each other's stuff. And I've written for Lethal Minds in the past. So I've written some articles for them. And so they reached out to me, and they're like, hey, we want to do something big. Like we want to do something like in person for Marines, for civilians, for people that are into this stuff. And we want to do it in the DC area. And we know that what you've been doing at the Quantical Warfighting Society has gotten a lot of headway out there, and people know like what you're doing out there. We want to bring you in on it. I'm like, all right. And so we talked about what it was going to be. And so basically they already had Sino Talk, which was the Intel analyst, who is a specialist on China and that domain. He's a previous Marine Corps analyst as well. Their thought process was, we're going to do an article series that's going to lead into an actual like war game and crisis simulation in the DC area. And so the way that we've actually fleshed it out, we did about 2 months of planning before we even rolled anything out, which was it's going to be a 6-part article series, and we're about halfway through it right now. So an article will release on a Friday. The following week, I'll do a Zoom class, myself and Sino Talk, the author of the articles. We hop on Zoom for anybody and everybody that wants to hop in there, and we talk about the article. So like the first week was an overview of China and Taiwan and their tensions, right? And so the next week we did a Zoom call where I talked about basically everything from the inception of the Chinese Communist Party through the Chinese Civil War, all the way up to contemporary times and issues. The next week we did weather and terrain. This week we're doing force disposition. Next week we got logistics. We got C2. So basically, over the course of these weeks, we're doing article class, and it leads up to December. And in December, we have locked on a venue at George Washington University, where we will be hosting an actual war game and crisis simulation over the course of 3 days. So it'll start Friday night, it'll go Saturday, it'll go Sunday. And during that time frame, we're looking at hosting about 130 people, and it's going to be civilians, military, college students, anybody and everybody that's interested and has some, wants to have some skin in the game kind of thing. And we'll also have panelists that are going to be there doing like 2-hour-long panels of question and answers with the people that are there. So we'll have spectators there as well as people that are actually participating in the crisis simulation. I ended up bringing in a couple of people that I know through the Marine Corps University, that are war gamers. So I know a couple of great war gamers that host the command and staff and the SAW and the EWS war games for like the high level officer schools. So I got them involved, and they're running our war game simulation. So it's going to be like top notch war game simulation as it can be. And so it's going to be great. We partnered with George Washington University, a lot of other entities that are coming in and helping out. And so we're basically just putting together this big thing for free to get people, in on the topics that are of concern today, right? And get military minds thinking, as well as the civilian populace that is going to be dealing with that. Because a lot of these schools, George Washington University, Georgetown University, all these students and everybody that's participating, these are all the future leaders of the government and the agencies that run the DoD and all that stuff. So we're getting everybody together for it. So it's a big undertaking, but it's a lot of the right people are banding together to do it. And I'm just happy to be a part of it.
No, I love it, man. I'm following as much as, probably not as much as I should be, but as much as I'm able. I'm following along, but I love what you're doing. Been a while. Covered Flashpoint Taiwan. I think there should be more conversation in the future, maybe after this goes down, and kind of at least between me and you, we don't have to run it on here if not necessary. But I want to talk more about that after everything wraps. And is there anything
And just really quick for anybody that that wants to get in on it, basically if you follow along on Lethal Minds Journal on Instagram, or my account Quantico Warfighting Society on Instagram, we're pushing out the updates on it all the time. But if you don't have social media, that's fine. If you just go to Lethal Minds Journal, Google it, you can go to the Lethal Minds Journal Substack, and the articles are on there as well as the recordings of the Zooms. So I'm doing the recordings of the Zooms, and so you can go in there and watch the 45 minutes of class plus 45 minutes of discussion back and forth between myself and the other participants, where we're just talking through the topic and really just answering questions. So it's all in there if anybody wants to go back and just kind of like throw it on and just educate themselves a little bit more too.
Outstanding, man. I love it.
Not too far. You're marking a building. Hit him. Yeah, that's good. That's a good shot. That's money. Yeah. Money.